Welcome back, everyone. Welcome.
I have a welcome song, George.
If this is your first time here joining us for our live chat, welcome.
Can I sing my welcome song? Because, I mean, they've been paying me to sing, so using that super chat. So here is your welcome song, the YouTubers. All right, here we go. You may catch on, and if you do, sing with me. Now, this song actually answers a lot of questions that we get, so it's appropriate for the live Q&A. It answers two of the most frequently asked questions. How did we meet? Mm-hmm. And is your real name George? So it goes a little something like this. She made a profile on a dating site, looking for a dark-skinned man. She did. We started to talk, and much to her surprise, I'm just a white guy with a tan. It's true. That's true.
Are you darker than me?
I'm darker than her right now. She was shocked. GEORGEOUS $. You gotta love my George's George. GEORGEOUS. You know what's next? $. You gotta love my George's George. She ordered a basket of cheese curds.
I do love cheese curds.
First date, I'm telling you. And some chicken to go on the side.
Some chicken wings.
She told me I couldn't kiss her for 3 months. But now she wants to be my fake bride. GEORGEOUS $. You gotta love my George's George. GEORGEOUS $. You gotta love my George's George. Now she stared deep into my eyes. She said she had a secret to share. She explained she didn't mind that I bought storage units, but she didn't know if she would dare. But that's all changed, 'cause she's GEORGEOUS $. You gotta love my George's George. GEORGEOUS $. You gotta love my George's George. Now, me and this pretty lady, we're pouring our lives into a new forge. Remember, that's what you put metal into. You just pour it in and it comes metal. Forever together, living side by side. Except we don't live together. She's an hour north and I'm an hour south, and we see each other whenever we can, so we don't live together. But it works for the music, so just go with it. Forever together, living side by side.
A mouthful.
With an Egyptian with the middle name of George. Sing with me. GEORGEOUS $. You gotta love my George's George. GEORGEOUS $. You gotta love my George's George. GEORGEOUS $.
Hit the high notes, Jeremy.
You gotta love my George's George. There we go.
Give it up for Jeremy, everyone.
I promised you. You keep sending money, I'll keep writing stupid songs.
Someone made a comment. He wasn't sure if that was a good thing or a bad thing that you're singing.
Oh, we got
Real
a super
Talk
chat.
Menor.
We got a super chat already from Real Talk Menor. What does he have to say, George?
He says, George, can you come help shovel snow in New England? We're getting 6 inches tomorrow. I'll be on the first flight, red eye.
Real Talk Menor, thank you for your super chat. As a matter of fact, one of the things that we want to share with all of our viewers and our subscribers is what exactly a super chat is. Because we get so many questions during a live Q&A, there's no way that we can actually get to them all. And so there is a way that will bump your question or your comment right up into our feed, and YouTube will hold it there, and it's called what is it, George?
Super chat.
It's called a super chat. So what exactly is a super chat? How do they super chat, George?
If you're new to super chat, depending on what type of device you're on, if you're on a desktop or a laptop, there's a $ right above where you can leave a comment in the live feed. If you're on your phone, same thing. There's a $sign.
They put that in there specifically for What the Hales.
Yeah.
So YouTube did that for us. We don't mind. We appreciate that.
Yeah, so that'll flag in the chat because we are looking at a screen. And then if you have a question that you want answered, obviously those are going to pop up first, and then we're going to answer those.
So if you actually do a super chat and you put money in there, it pops right up on our screen and it goes boom, boom, boom. And the reality is the more money that you actually put into that super chat, it holds it at the top of the screen longer. So, for example, I think $100, but you got to be crazy to send $100. But $100 puts it there for 30 minutes. If we miss one that is, let's say you put $2 and it's there for 30 seconds, we may miss it because it holds it there for that amount of time. But with that being said, George, we need all of our viewers to make sure that they subscribe, hit your bell notification, and then we've got a moderator here in the live Q&A as well. What's their name?
Yes, a lot of you are familiar because this isn't your first time, but our moderator is Meerkat. She'll be on there to answer any questions that we consider frequently asked questions, like how do we get What the Hales merch? What's your eBay store link? Is what he just saying is George's real name, George, and she'll try to answer your questions the best that she can.
Okay, and one more thing with housekeeping items, and then we're going to get to shout-outs, and we're going to get to questions and tips and all of that, okay? So one more thing in regards to housekeeping, March 30th, that's our eBay 101 training. So if you want to sign up, how do they sign up? It's here in Wooster. It's all day. How do they sign up?
If you're interested in registering, whether you live local or if you want to do a road trip or if you want to fly in, a couple of our registers are flying in and some of them are traveling. There are hotels nearby. You want to send your request, your interest to whatthehales@yahoo.com. Once you send that initial email, you'll get another email in return with the next step instructions.
All right, so if you want to be a part of that training, all fun, all-day event with, you're going to be there, right?
I will be there.
That's why I'm going. She's going to be there. If you want to hang out with George for the day, March 30th, make sure you get your registration by emailing us at whatthehales@yahoo.com, where we'll be teaching you all the tricks of the trade and how to maximize your profit when selling on eBay. With that being said,
that day also happens to fall on his birthday.
My 42nd birthday. So secondth birthday. So we're gonna have a little bit of a party, I think, too.
Yeah. It'll be fun.
Why not? When you've got all YouTubers all together, we might as well have some fun. All right, we got a shout out, don't we?
Shout out to Daniel Stubden all the way from the UK.
Which right now, if my memory serves me correct, it's like 2:30 in the morning.
2 o'clock.
Yeah, because some of our subscribers are crazy and they're watching at 2 in the morning. All right, George, do you have any success stories for us today?
I do. I have two that I could read off. The first one is from Formosa41. They say, I won my first storage unit last week, sold the first item from the unit today. That one item paid for the unit and then some. So that's the goal, is to profile a unit, find that one unit that's going to pay for the profile. The rest is all profit. Still working on figuring out eBay and all the other ways to sell the stuff. You guys are inspiring. Thank you. That's great. If you are on the live chat tonight, what do we want to do? We want to fist pump them.
Fist pump!
Bobby Addison says, Bobby from Georgia here. I watched your video last night and today I unboxed my own money. $120 locker was full of gold and jewelry, silver jewelry. To my surprise, I found a 1915 $half gold Indian head coin. Thanks for the inspiration. Bobby Addison, if you are on the live chat tonight, fist pump.
All right, now those of you who are going, wait, what about the we got that little drawing thing tonight.
The drawing, yes.
Yeah.
For many of you are here because you want to know if you won the drawing.
We've been getting so many requests in Facebook and Yahoo. It's like,
it's been insane.
When did you declare who won yet?
Tonight's that night.
It's not the 17th yet, but tonight it is the 17th.
It's going down.
So we have the collection of names and items. There's so many that we have to put them in a giant kitchen garbage can, and so we will be drawing the winner soon here tonight. So stay tuned. All right. Find of the week. Are you ready, George?
I am ready.
We
Are
found-
you guys ready?
We found a lot of crazy things this week.
We have.
And probably the overriding theme of this week would have been what? What was the thing that we found more of anything else?
Fabric.
Fabric. It's
Tons of fabric.
the cotton. It's the life. So thought we'd show you this inspirational Dale Earnhardt fabric so that you could see it as well. Look down here. Hopefully you can see that 2003. It's NASCAR Dale Earnhardt fabric. So there you go. That is the find of the week.
That's one of the many, many, many bolts of fabric.
So many. Which takes us right into the tip. Are you ready for the tip, George?
I'm ready.
Are you sure you're ready this time?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Just the tip, and then we're going to move into questions, okay?
Okay.
All right. Tip of the week actually comes off of a comment that was provided by one of our subscribers. And Deb Morale says, "Hey guys, just wanted to let you know I won a storage unit that was full of mercury bulbs and waste that was neatly packed as something else. I guess we all get dumped sometimes or duped sometimes. Luckily, I know how to handle this as my previous career was in OSHA. Seems this is now becoming more common to dump cost of disposal onto someone else by purchasing a storage unit, hiding the waste in different boxes, and then failing to pay. If I had been present, not bidding online, I may have been able to see something that might have made me not buy on this unit. Just an FYI for everyone. Hugs and prayers, Deb Morale." Deb, hugs and prayers back to you. Here's a big hug from both of us for you, Deb.
Yes. Sending a virtual hug to you, Deb.
Okay, so Deb gives an extremely good tip here. Live auctions. You can use your five senses. You got hearing, sight, smell, taste, and touch. Okay?
No, maybe not taste, but definitely smell.
Always taste what's in the unit. I'm telling you, you got to know. All right? You can use your five senses to profile and profile better. So when in doubt, try and get to the live auctions so that you don't get duped. More and more people, because these businesses will offer you a first month free, and then they'll put all the garbage in a unit and then walk away from it. Make sure you don't get stuck with their garbage. Proper profiling, and the best way to properly profile is to be there on site to see and use your five senses. So, Deb, we appreciate it as you invest into us.
Thank you, Deb.
All growing together. Okay, ready for the first question, George?
I am.
All right, this comes from Business in the Front, Party in the Back, YouTube subscriber.
What a great YouTube name.
Mullet Man, maybe? I'm not sure. Okay, wants to know, I've noticed that a lot of YouTubers think Jeremy has a toupee. Is this true, George?
We do get a lot of people that ask him, do you have hair plugs? Do you wear a toupee? And yeah, we get that even though he's going to be turning 42 with, he does have a head full of hair. And yes, that is his real hair.
It's all real.
See, I'm running my fingers through it. It's so soft. I want to take a nap in it. It's real.
She wants to take a nap in my nap. So it's all real. It is thinning. And if you go back to the early beginnings of the channel, remember, every video has a date on it. And so if you go back to the early beginnings of the channel, you'll see how I like my hair. I like my hair nice and short. And so
what was the name
the
of the
Forrest Gump look is
I wasn't into the Forrest Gump look.
So George likes my hair longer, and the barber I go to, he always leaves like this long poof thing up here, which makes it move and feel like it's an actual toupee. It drives me nuts. But he's an old school barber. He gives me a shave and with a razor, and he puts a hard part in it and the whole deal. And so the barber is awesome. But I get this poof thing because she likes it long. So I just roll with it. All right, what's our next question, George?
All right, let's jump into the chat.
Do we have any super chat questions?
Nothing that popped up.
Okay, remember, if you super chat, your question comes right up front.
Yes. Diane Green wants to know, who brought cookies?
Unfortunately, not me. We found green beans this week, but we didn't find cookies.
They were dry freeze. Like, I call it astronaut food.
I don't know if those green beans were dry frozen or dry freezing.
We're supposed to eat them like a snack.
Sweetie, I think those were just so old and and stale that they were just...
It was astronaut food.
It was after it's been in there for sure.
Alamo Storage Unit, or Alamo Storage Bandit wants to know, what happens to a unit that is not sold? Does the storage unit take ownership of it or put it back up for auction again? And would the original tenant be able to pay for it after that? That's actually a good question.
Great question. Original tenant can only pay for the unit up to the moment that it goes up for auction. After that, even though nobody bids on it, the business is the legal owner of the items. So the business can do whatever they want. So what happens in my situation, because I know a lot of the business owners, they often will say, Jeremy, do you want any of that? Because they have to bring in a dumpster, they have to pay a staff member, it all goes to the dump. And so they'll say, Jeremy, if you take it, you can have it all for free. Or I even have business members or owners that will say, Jeremy, I don't even want to put these up for auction. Will you just take them all out? And yeah, those things happen. So 9 times out of 10, depending on the business, it just goes into a dumpster. They call a dumpster in. They hire a person to fill the dumpster up with everything. Because remember, their money isn't in reselling items. And so when people on YouTube go fake, or, oh man, those business owners are going through everything. Number one, that puts them in a legal liability to actually go through anything.
Oh, Art Bell.
Art Bell, howdy, buddy.
Howdy, Art.
Art just sent a $3 super chat. Hope you're doing well, Art. Appreciate all your comments. By the way, we're about 3 days behind on YouTube comments right now because there's been so many. So the business actually doesn't put themselves in liability, but what they do is they bring it all in, send it all off to the dump. That's what happens 9 times out of 10. Or they might hold it for a month.
Super chat says, George, I think he needs to go on American Idol. Yeah,
yes!
He's ready to go on American Idol, The Voice.
I want Survivor. I want Survivor. That would be fun. That would be a ton of fun. All right, do we have another question, George?
I lost my place.
Uh-oh.
Do you have one?
I do have a question. So we've got a question here from Big Guy 1544. He says, have you heard anything about PayPal not taking or receiving payments at the end of the year for eBay? So Big Guy 1544, yeah. This is something PayPal unveiled probably about, well, PayPal didn't unveil it, eBay unveiled it about a year ago as they announced their decision to part ways with PayPal. Now, let's go through the history a little bit. eBay actually gave birth to PayPal. They were one company, which then they separated as companies. And what they want to do now is eBay wants to make a more convenient checkout for you and for me and for all of our consumers. Now, using PayPal, it kind of gets a little bit bumpy in that road. And so what they've done is they found a third party. That third party is named Adyen, and so it's Adyen. And what they're doing is they're third partying with Adyen, but they're bringing Adyen in-house. So eBay is going to have control of the full checkout experience. And you may be going, okay, why would eBay even do this if they gave birth to PayPal and it's a business? And well, number one, they have contracts, just like you and I would get in a contract. And the terms are much better with Adyen. In other words, eBay is going to make more money with Adyen and bringing them in-house than they would with PayPal, who they gave birth to. That's all part of business. So it's a business decision. It's a better cost for eBay. Now we also have to go, well, why would eBay care about better cost? Because it's business. eBay is in this global marketplace, which now Amazon is trying to dominate and is dominating, and eBay is lagging behind because eBay was known as the auction site, not the shopping site I want to buy right now. When people ask, how should I list? Should I go buy it now or an auction? I always say buy it now because eBay is platforming themselves to be that sales site where you just come in, impulse purchase, and buy. So number one, you've got the cost analysis. That's why they're going with Adyen, moving away from PayPal. And that would be the contract expires the end of the year, 2020, we get into it's a whole brand new system, okay? The other thing that's going to happen is eBay is going to have more control of the full purchasing checkout process. So customer service, it's extremely important as you're building a business and a global marketplace. So the more you can have in-house control versus saying, well, that's a third party, go call PayPal over there, the better you can have the experience for your consumer.
Everything will be in-house versus transferring you over.
Perfect. So they have control of the customer service experience. And the third reason why they would do that is you're now in a better buying competitive market with Amazon, Alibaba, all these other sites where people are buying. So they're more competitive in the market, trying to grow their market share, which grows our market share. So this is a good thing. Now, it's not that they're not going to accept PayPal anymore. They are not going to be the preferred payment. And so, whereas right now they're like PayPal, 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 PayPal. PayPal is going to fall down and take a back seat to everything, where everything is going to become the new platform. So you're going to go Aiden, 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 Aiden. It's going to be preferred. Aiden, 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 Aiden. And they'll accept other ways of payment as well. But that's what you want to know, okay? So that's all the information. That's summing it all up as far as a year's worth of what eBay has been telling us as part of their growth performance, and so that should help you as you prepare and move forward as well. Good question.
Yes, a lot of our viewers ask tax-related questions.
Oh, of course, right now.
So Rocky Lawson wants to know, will you ever do sessions on the tax mechanics?
Okay, Rocky, if we do sessions on taxes, there's a couple different problems. Number one, tax law changes all the time. So all of a sudden, we record this and I give you information on taxes. It goes out onto YouTube, and in a year, somebody's referring to it as tax information and tax law. It could be so far off base, it would be ridiculous. So that's the biggest reason why we're not going to get into taxes. Number two, but very close, I'm not a tax lawyer. Are you?
Or a CPA.
I'm not a CPA. I mean, George has done a lot of things. I mean, she's got a lot of specialties in her life. But as far as, were you ever a tax lawyer?
Never.
Okay, not yet. But
I always hire someone to do my taxes.
She is a CFO. But even then, you know, as a CFO of Hales Corp, that the laws are always changing,
yes,
correct?
They
Okay.
are.
So that being said, and she's very financially wise. It always changes. So that's why I always stress you have to find a good partner who specializes in this field, who daily knows what they know. You can ask me tax questions, and I can tell you some things that I know right now. And number one, I could be wrong because everything has changed. Or number two, I could just be wrong because I'm not in that field. So you could ask me about, hey, how do I get a storage unit? I could tell you exactly how to go get a storage unit, but I'm doing that daily. You need to find somebody in your back pocket who can give you the tax information that you need. That's why I'm hesitant to share it with you, even though sometimes you guys work it out of me sometimes.
Well, a lot of our viewers are in a different country or in a different state, and you know, all of those laws change and apply, and it varies from state to state. Trashy Taz wants to know, do you ever get sick after eating some of the food you find?
I have not been sick.
This man has like the stomach of steel.
Well, I used to get sick all the time, but I was actually traveling and speaking and teaching and preaching all over the United States and frankly all over the world. And so I would get sick, and I would be so sick, especially this time of the year. I got to tell you, the thing that changed for me, I started getting flu shots, and I don't get sick now that I get the flu shots. And so that's huge for me. And I've never gotten sick from anything inside of a storage unit, not even a tummy ache. Although I've put some things in my mouth, like those guacamole tortilla chips. Those were nasty. I spit those out immediately. That was this week. Those were really gross.
Karen Crouch says, in the recent unit with the industrial sewing machine, the mom said she found the storage locker online with her son's daughter-in-law's name.
Yep.
Do they list the online auctions with the owner's name?
Okay, good question.
So online versus live.
So,
Do they always list the previous owner's name?
well, sweetie, even the live auctions, they're going to be listed like on AuctionZip. So I think she's asking, do they list? So here's what happens. When your storage unit, let's say you have a storage unit and you didn't pay for 3 months, or law's going to change so many months and then it's delinquent, then what has to happen? You have to, these things just don't go up for auction. I mean, some people have this demented and distorted view of, oh my goodness, the businesses are taking.
Yeah, they have to be delinquent for so many months.
It has to be delinquent for so many months. The businesses have to do anything and everything they can.
They have to follow their due
you.
diligence.
So certified letters.
Yes.
I mean, it's
Phone
not like
calls.
it's phone call. It's not like they're just wanting to send this stuff up for auction. They want paid for the rental fee, and then nobody comes up. And so, all right. So that being said, I forgot what the question was. Can you remind me? Sometimers.
Do they put the previous owner's name?
That's right.
Do they list them?
Look at you. You're
Do
good.
they usually list?
Look at your memory.
Right here.
Oh, okay. we were testing her memory, and she passed.
Because I do have some timers.
She's
It's frightening.
She's doing great. Okay, so what happens is they have to make an actual public announcement. If you look in the paper, it could be a public announcement. Jeremy Hales $. Your storage unit is delinquent. It's going up for auction at this date. And then the law of the right of redemption applies to where if I come and pay my delinquent, my back fees, I can redeem that. It's still mine. I get it back. But if I don't, it goes up for auction. So there is a public announcement of the individual that unit's name is leased in. Okay? So if it's me, it's my name. If it's George, it's George's name. If it's you, it's your name. Now, some people list that as part of a public announcement in auctionzip.com where they say, "Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna have an auction, and these are the people, and these are the unit numbers, and da 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 da." In this particular auction, I read all of those. It wasn't there. There were no names. So I don't know where she found the public announcement, but she obviously found the public announcement. Now, let me be very clear.
I think she said AuctionZip.
Well, she did say she found the auction on AuctionZip.
Yeah.
Let me be very clear, as many people have said, oh, you can't find a person on AuctionZip, and the parents were telling the truth. We've been through the unit. Everything they've said has lined up completely. Not only that, you saw on film 2 minutes. I spent an hour with them afterwards on film. I have their information. I have their name, their number, their contact information. And so their names are in the unit. Their address, their names, it's in the unit, the parents. And so everything lines up. And so there was probably a public announcement. And that being said, somehow she found it online. And that being said, she ended up there with her husband that day. Good question.
Yes. James Vita wants to know, Jeremy, have you ever considered a career selling OxiClean? I wonder if he's asking because of the way you clean the tub.
That's probably right, cleaning the tub. I've never considered OxiClean, but I wouldn't know what to clean with it. What would you... His storage unit stuff? I don't know. I get what you're saying, the salesman approach and pitch. If you were to ask people who know me very closely and say, hey, what 3 words describe Jeremy? I can tell you already because I used to ask them, because I had students that were getting their master's degree with me all the time. They always said the same thing. Jeremy's the most driven person you'll ever meet in your life. He's the most enthusiastic person you'll ever meet in your life. And he's the most passionate person you'll ever meet in his life. So I get what you're saying. I'm just naturally driven, passionate, and enthusiastic about the things that I'm driven, passionate, and enthusiastic about. OxiClean isn't one of those things. Impacting and changing people's lives for the better, that is. That gets me up. The money doesn't get me up in the morning. So life change for people, that gets me up in the morning.
We've got a lot of our UK viewers. We know that it's almost 2:30 in the morning there. We've got someone on from Germany, and it's almost 3:30 a.m. there.
Who's on from Germany?
Karen Murati.
Wow, Karen. Pulling the night shift. Thanks for watching, Karen.
Jim Panther says, we need to send Jeremy storage locker food for his birthday.
Yes, now that will be a happy 42nd birthday. That would be incredible. We got another question, George?
Sherry Russell wants to know, Jeremy, have you ever thought of doing a podcast?
No. I wouldn't know what to say.
He definitely has the voice for radio. You can talk about anything. You're so good at
in regards to
talking about
podcasts,
whatever.
no. In regards to writing books, I've started to write 2 books, and they are Christian-themed books. One of them is based on counseling, the way that Jesus actually counseled each of the personalities of the 12 disciples. And one of them is on programming and how to write a program and how to implement and execute a program, execute in a good way. And everything is a program. When you go into your work, there's a program. When you go to a conference or a seminar, it's a program. And so the whole book is based on the laws. I wrote 7 laws of programming. And so I've already started 2 books. But those were going to be towards my doctorate if I was going to move on, because when you go for your doctorate, you have to write a book. So I started writing them already, and then they were going to be applied towards the doctorate to do the work beforehand. You know what I mean? So I haven't gone that far yet. But if you do enough searching on Google, you'll find not only podcasts, you'll find me speaking at different places. So have fun with that if you want to.
Robin Gnomes all the way from Japan says it's lunchtime in Japan.
Wow, I was in Japan, Robin. I was in, oh my goodness, where was I in Japan?
What part of Japan, do you remember?
I can't, it was south, and I was helping establish a camp in Japan, an English-speaking camp. And, well, remember the $1 million swimming pool that we built?
Yeah.
That came from the plans when I was in Japan, actually. So we went to the Japanese government, and they actually released their community or government plans for their pool. And I went to my architect and went, all right, translate it. And so we built a Japanese swimming pool here in Ohio.
Robin's the one that was hoping to win some orbs.
Oh, yeah! We apparently have plenty of them.
We were trying to figure out how to send you orbs.
Robin, all I have to say is the onsen... that was an experience. That was quite the experience. A big white guy with all the Japanese in the onsen. That was, we'll just leave it at that. They called me the White Samurai.
Richard Dennison wants to know, hey, Jeremy and George, how do you really know that a trash unit is a trash unit?
Typically, when you find trash in it, you know it's a trash unit. I would need some clarification in regards to that question. But some of the things that I would classify as a trash unit, again, remember, I'm always encouraging use all your 5 senses. You got hear, you got sight, smell, taste, touch, okay? And so listen, because the business owners are typically there. If you've watched all of my videos, you'll remember I bought a unit that had Rudy Ray Moore, famous actor, in it. I bought it. It was completely trashed. I bought it because the storage business people were in the back whispering, saying it was a famous movie actor. Mm-hmm. I didn't know who it was. All I did was listen. I heard them speaking. I bought it. And it's been extremely profitable. Okay? Look at what you can see. If there's garbage bags, if stuff's flying all over the place, if it's not neat and clean, then it's garbage. What do you smell? Get a whiff. If you smell dirty, nasty dog, don't bid on that thing. If you smell nasty
mildew, like you'll smell mildew, mold. You'll smell rat feces.
You will smell man butt crack and run away. Okay, and when I tell you taste, some of the smell is so bad you can taste it. Run and. Probably shouldn't touch anything in the unit, but if there is a wall of smell that feels like you couldn't get past it and you're trapped, run. It's garbage. Just use your senses when you're profiling.
Jane Hedge says, kudos for giving the personal items to the deceased man's parents. And then Trashy Taz says, love the video of cashing in the coins. That is great for the kids' educational fund. Which actually, about cashing in the coins, when he asked about the trash, the unit was trash, but we found majority of those coins in that unit. So
there are gems in the rough. Again,
yeah,
you
just got to use your judgment.
It's a calculated risk.
And how much the unit's worth. If it's $1, what's your budget? If it's $5,
true. I mean, the reality is you're never ever going to know what's hiding in there, and so you should not foolishly go and spend money. Just go, oh man, there's going to be $1 million in there. Oh man, all this change is going to be in there. That's not the way to bid on these units. The way to bid on these units is to profile correctly. That's how you make money.
Jim Panther says, were there a lot of personal items in the last unit to give back to his parents? We're not completely done.
There's one more day. I'm going to work on the rest of the sort tomorrow. So what's happened is we've been very, very meticulous on this last one. And because we're trying to get the things that the parents are going to be given back. And so let me back up first of all. You realize, number one, the parents don't have any legal right to any of the items. So once a son, let's say George and I get married, okay? George and I are now accountable to each other. What's hers is mine and mine is hers. And actually, what's hers is hers and what's mine is hers. You guys know how that goes, right? Let's say I pass away. My parents want my stuff. It doesn't go to my parents. It goes to George. Now, this couple was in a battle for divorce for 1.5 years. And it didn't happen because the wife didn't have the funds to actually divorce. I mean, that's the story that was told to me. Majority of this stuff in this unit, again, it was the females. And probably, I would say 95%.
95%
Maybe
of the
90.
items were hers, yeah.
So what we've done is we've put together a huge tote. Of items. And what I worked out...
That has his name on it.
Yeah. And things that you already know, these are his, not hers, okay? And so what we're doing is putting this huge tote together, and I have the parents' information. And so what I did with the parents is I told them, as long as they allowed me to share their story, as long as they allowed me to share their image, which legally I could have done anyway. It's a public auction. I can film anyone, and I can do whatever I want with those images. But what I did with them is I shared with them, as long as they allowed me to use their image in their story, that they could have what they wanted back of his for free. And so I have their contact information, and their contact information, what I'm going to do is call them. They're going to come back up to the warehouse, and it'll be, here you go. So I just had to sort through it all, and I still got another day of sorting because it's been very meticulous because we're specifically trying to make sure we can find anything that
belonged to
him and return that to the parents.
Ellen Dougal says, you guys are great. Jeremy makes me laugh. Thanks, and keep up the good work.
When have I ever been funny? Thank you, Ellen. George makes me laugh.
It looks like we had a troll.
We did? Her favorite are the trolls. We never get enough trolls. Okay, I'll see if I can find one here.
Okay.
I'll go all the way to the bottom. You keep your spot, and I'll go all the way to the bottom, right. Okay? Ray McKinley, $2, wants to know when we're going to get married.
Oh.
I'll let you answer that one.
We don't have a date yet. I have a couple goals that I want to meet first before even discussing marriage.
What are those goals that you want to meet? Do you feel comfortable sharing that?
Well, I've shared that I want to pay my own student loan debt first.
Okay.
That's one of them.
Northwest RC Club with the super chat. $2.15 in the UK. Hales of a good life feed. Thank you, RC Club. So he's one of your favorites for sure. She loves it when he comments because she always goes, "He's so nice."
I don't have a favorite. I love them all.
That's what she says
I
on
love
camera.
You all.
That's what she says on camera, but she absolutely has favorites.
Lazy P.
Lazy Walking P. Shout out from Oregon.
We watched your videos.
We sure did. If you haven't checked out Lazy P yet, Lazy Walking P, he's in real estate, such as I am as well. I got into it at 19. That's when I bought my first house. And so he's diving into the real estate life. And if there's one investment that I would encourage anybody to get into, it's real estate. It's the one thing God isn't making any more of. And people always go, Jeremy, how much property do you want? And my answer is always the same. I don't want it all. I just want the one that's right next to me. And then the one that's next to that. And the one that's next to that. Daniel Skelly, $2 super chat. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Daniel.
He says he's sorry he's late and he loves the show. Daniel, we love it when you comment and we love it when you share within the videos and the live stream as well.
A lot of people are questioning the gummy bears that you ate.
Those were good gummy bears.
Wanted to know if they were laced with THC.
The gummy bears? No, they weren't. Okay, we've got William McCaslin. He wants to know, can you tell us specifically what you're going to give the parents back? Specifically, what we're going to give the parents back is things that pertain to their son. And so those items range from anything and everything. So that happens in regards to the specifics. It could be anything that dealt with the car repairs. And one of the things that the son and the father did a lot of is they remodeled and restored vehicles and trucks and things like that. And so there are items in regards to that. There's items in regards to clothing. Some of I already gave clothing the day there at the auction. I said, hey, take this with you. Give me a chance to work through everything else, because I didn't have my trailer there with me that day, because that wasn't my goal, wasn't to take it all out that day. And so I had to work through it all the past few days, and I had to go through it with a fine-tooth comb. So I literally took the garbage cans there and the trailer and worked right out of the storage unit where I would typically do that. The finer tooth sorting, I would do that at the actual warehouse. So anything that happens to deal with their son, that's what we're sharing back with them. It's a gift from us to them. Again, they have no legal right to it, but even though they don't have a legal right to it, we want to give it back to them. So we want to make sure that they can share in those memories.
Pamela Chadwell says, I know we've talked about this, but I really want to talk about it again. I just want to know how to win when people bid on the last 3 minutes.
The only way to win, Pamela, is to outbid them.
Yeah.
That's the only thing you can do. You got to bid more than they bid. And don't go outside of your budget of what you think the unit is actually worth. Make sure you can see something that's going to pay for your bid amount, and then the rest of that would be profit.
Yeah, so if your budget is at $300, you're going to stop at $300 and just kind of wait it out and see if someone outbid you or if you win it. But you're not going to know until the time expires.
All right, let's see. What's your favorite item ever you found in a unit? Frank Honeycutt wants to know. Favorite thing I ever found in a unit? Boy, I really don't know. There's the problem with asking that question. Everybody always asks, what's the best thing? What's the most expensive?
For you, they're asking you specifically. What do you like to find?
I love toys. I love toys, video games. I love video games because I can flip them so fast. And so, specifically, I love video games. I'll give you a short story while she's reading. When we were kids, there's 5 siblings in my family. My older brother has OCD. He would not and literally diagnosed with OCD, and would not let us touch his Super Nintendo. And so Genesis came out. Wedgie 54. Wedgie 54 gave us $2 super chat. Thank you, Wedgie 54. We would love to give you a Wedgie 55 if you ever need that. But remember, if you get a Wedgie with those old antique vintage underwear, sell them on eBay. But my older brother had an NES, and Genesis came out, Sega Genesis came out, and it was the opposing. And so my goal was to get a Genesis, which I got, and then was to own every single one of the games. And so I got very close to owning all of the games. I was never really a gamer and played them, but those video games paid my way through undergraduate school. And so I graduated with no debt. I was a married student with a child in college and paying for everything with video games. I would work on eBay with my daughter Chelsea, and Chelsea and I would work, and I would get Chelsea and she'd be picturing the items, and we'd work maybe 8 hours a week on eBay, and I pulled a double duty, and I did 4 years of college in 2 years. I doubled it all up, and what made me able to do that? eBay and video games, selling video games on eBay.
That's an incredible story.
All right, we got a super chat from Headley P. Wanted to say that you both are exceptionally wonderful people to allow us into a part of your daily story. Hoping to be at the seminar on the 30th of March. Headley P., we hope you're there too.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We are really looking forward to it. It's going to be a ton of fun. Thank you for the super chat.
Yes. James Dietrich says, Jeremy, you're very knowledgeable. George, get some duct tape for Jeremy.
Other people have said verbacious.
John Scalise says, how do you deal with other bidders whose sole purpose is to bid just to run the numbers up and seem to not even care about the unit other than to say they won the auction?
Wait, Christine G just said, hey, Jeremy, somebody thinks you have $50,000. $50,000 in what,
What?
Christine? I'm not sure. $50,000 in what? Oh, Wedgie54 just said the Ghostbuster Watchers are coming soon. I love Ghostbusters. Thank you, Wedgie54. Awesome. Okay, what was your question, sweetie?
How do you deal with other bidders whose sole purpose is to bid just to run the numbers up and seem to not even care about the unit other than just to say they won the auction?
Well, that's a pride issue, and at the core of probably all of us, we're going to struggle with some pride. The thing that I would do, if people are running you up at the auction, take somebody with you that a prideful person would struggle running the bid up. And what I mean by that, if I took George to the auction, if you're bidding against me or bidding against George, who are you going to bid up more on? Okay, so think that through. Whether it's a guy bidding you up, is a guy wants to show good face to a beautiful woman. I mean, let's just be honest about human nature. Guy wants to show good face to a beautiful woman. So usually he's going to defer and go, you can have it. So if they haven't seen me with George before, then let George do the bidding. Or take somebody else. And if they're trying to run me up just because, let's say they saw me on YouTube and they want to prove a point, I'll run Jeremy up and I'll try and get him to spend all of his money and da-da-da-da. Whatever, okay? Whatever. I don't run people up. I only bid on units that I intend on buying. That's not who I am. It's not what I do. But if somebody's doing it to me, I would try and think through of what would they not run up? Who would they not? And 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a beautiful woman. Whether that's a 5-year-old daughter that you have or granddaughter or a beautiful Egyptian princess, I mean queen. Don't get out the throwing knives. Don't get out the knives. And so think through that process of what can you do to win in your favor to get that person who's prideful and just bidding them up to get them to mellow out. Beautiful Woman has a way of doing that.
James Wilson wants to know, have you ever heard of pirateship.com? So far it's been cheaper than eBay and it links to eBay.
Okay.
We have heard of it and we've done comparisons of our own and so far they've come out to be the exact same price.
It's the exact same pricing. So eBay and pirateship.com has the exact same pricing.
Yeah, we have yet to experience pirate ship being cheaper. But the only thing that we haven't compared is international shipping.
Yeah, international shipping would be. Well, and even then, it's still you're still going to have the same. It's all the same shipping. Okay. Here's the deal: when you're shipping, the USPS has negotiated prices in bulk. So pirateship.com has those same bulk negotiated prices for shipping as eBay does. And so there has not been a difference for us that we've seen, even though, and we don't understand why some people will go, oh, pirateship.com is cheaper. We have not yet seen anything cheaper on pirateship.com that we don't get the same discount and deal already on eBay. So it makes us wonder 2 things. Number one, are we not seeing something? Mm-hmm. And the chances of that could be there. But number 2, are you not seeing something on eBay? Why are you not getting your discounts on eBay? And that's just where it's at for us. So,
Jana Hanna says, have you thought any more about researching the baseball cards that we talked about? I'm still very interested. Thanks, Grandma.
I haven't had time to think about it. I have a ton of them. You can start up the conversation with me again, and I can already tell you I am 3 days. Tomorrow morning will be 4 days behind on responding to YouTube comments. It will take me a total of 2 days to respond to 4 days of comments. Literally just sitting there and responding. And so I've got so much going on just with YouTube right now that it's hard to even get into the warehouse, and the warehouse is freezing. Once the weather changes, it'd be a whole lot easier to get over there and think about those kinds of things.
Pat Bain says, on survival, you would win the eating challenge.
Yeah! And drink all, $2. Do storage places have professional bidders? Okay, that is illegal. It's called shilling. So if I'm having an auction and then I have somebody trying to bid the prices up, that's illegal. That's shilling. You can't do that online on eBay. That's illegal. You can't do that in a real auction. That's illegal. So shilling is illegal. You can't have somebody else there pushing the prices up at any auction, whether online or whether live or whether anywhere.
Bill McKenzie says, Jeremy, how far was your furthest storage unit and was it worth it?
The furthest one was 6 hours to go meet up with Jeebus and Amber, and yeah, it was worth it. We had a ton of fun that day. So I drove 6 hours. Jeebus and Amber drove, I think it was 2.5 hours. And should I give a spoiler alert?
You can.
Jeebus and Amber may be with us this weekend
This
at
upcoming
another storage unit auction here in Wooster. May. Stay tuned.
weekend. He just gave you a cliffhanger and a spoiler alert.
If they are not going to be here this weekend, then there will be a week during their spring break. Remember, they're still college students. There will be a week during their spring break where we're going to hit another auction up together.
Rick Buddy wants to know, how do you account for everything to keep the IRS off your back? And so this links back to the tax question that was asked earlier.
Get somebody to prepare your
Taxes for you.
Let me take the second half of your question.
So just to be clear, Jeremy doesn't do his own taxes.
I would
He hires
never,
someone.
ever do my own taxes. It's not because I can't do my own taxes. You said to keep the IRS off your back. I pay somebody to do that. When I pay them, they assume liability. If the IRS comes on me, they're not coming on me. They're coming on them. And they have to pay for any indiscrepancies, not me. I pay for that. I pay for it.
So that you're protected.
I give liability to somebody else. I go, all right, here you go, George. You're liable. I'm paying you. You're now liable for my taxes. And so I would encourage anybody to do that, to transfer liability anytime you can.
Russell McClellan says, I've been buying too much. My house is looking like Sanford and Sons. I used to love watching that show.
That does become an issue when you're starting out and things are in your house. Let me tell you, it's a whole lot better when you got a warehouse separate from the house, away from it. Even then, we still have stuff all over in the house.
63 Hunter 1 says, when you purchase a unit with contraband and drugs in it, how do you go about not being liable?
Well, you're not liable for, if you've got contraband and drugs in a unit, you did not knowingly purchase those drugs, and therefore you are not legally liable for... You're not on the street buying crack from the dealer, okay? Right. Completely different situation. And I get drugs all the time. Almost every single unit. If you're asking, did we find drugs in this last one yet? No.
Not yet.
Not yet. But we're not done. And it doesn't mean we are going to find it. Just 99% of the time we do. It's so commonplace in our world. I just throw it in the garbage. Everybody always asks, what do you do with it? What do you do with it? It's not a big deal. Throw it away. If you get it in mass amounts, like you'll see one of the videos, one of our subscribers, 2 safes filled with cocaine.
And then at that point, you want to contact your local authorities.
I would not have my name tied to that at all. I would tell the business,
the facility,
the facility. I want my name off of it. I'm not calling the police. You're calling the police. I don't want anything to do with that.
Yeah. So it depends on if you feel comfortable contacting the police yourself or letting the storage facility handle it if you don't want it in your possession. All
right. Let me see. Jim Panther Driver Vicker says Midget Man needs a safety vest and a hard hat. That's not a bad idea. I kind of like that. Our boy is growing up so fast, isn't he?
Yes. Brenda Kay says, after watching so many of your videos, I changed my mindset and treat my hoarder house clean out as if I bought several storage units.
I like it. That's great.
Jay Thurman says, I just posted my first item on eBay. If it sells, will the money be put on the debit card I have on file?
I don't know how you set up your account, but you probably registered a debit card. So if it sells, you're probably going to get paid through PayPal. That's the number one payment option. And if you set up with PayPal, you're going to get paid through PayPal. So it's going to go into a PayPal account. Think of a PayPal account as a bank, because that's what it is. It's just an online bank without a building. And so most likely you're going to get paid through PayPal.
Yeah, so then once you get paid by PayPal, then you have the option of either transferring it to your debit card, or you can have a check issued to you, right? Those are your options?
Yep. Direct deposit or a check.
Yeah. Direct deposit is free if you decide that route. If you want them to cut you a check, they keep a percentage, right?
Yep. Pamela Chadwell said, I found 5 pot seeds. Oh, I lost it. Where'd it go? I found 5 pot seeds in my first unit so far. I haven't looked at the other stuff yet. 5 pot seeds. I get them named. I get them sealed. I get bottles filled with them, and all these crazy names. You'll find so many. It's ridiculous.
Bobby Ray says, supported and shared from 3 of my channels, watching on 3 devices. Heck of a sound.
Whoa.
Yay. It only took, 2 months to finally perfect the sound and the video quality.
She worked so hard.
Thank you for letting us know, Bobby Ray.
She worked so hard on the sound and the video, the whole deal. Sweetheart?
Yes.
We got to figure out who won.
Yes.
This little
it's that
competition.
time. Yes.
So, why don't we go ahead? You got the monster bucket over here. How about I'll just put that right here.
Okay.
All right, drum roll, ready? Hand in, dig deep, dig deep. You can spill a couple out if you need to. You can spill a couple out. All right, and this is a long drum roll. You got one?
Oh my God, I try to dig in deep.
Okay, the winner is Linda Wilkinson. You won the fish lighter!
Congratulations, Linda.
All right, Linda, here's what you have to do. You have to message us at whatthehales@yahoo.com. Let us know your address so we can send you the fish lighter. And then that'll be in the mail and free of charge. You won!
Congratulations.
Now, for all of those that didn't win, don't worry. We're going to do it again.
Have more, yeah.
Because it's all her idea. She's like, let's start giving stuff away.
I think at least once a month we'll do a giveaway for one of the units.
Why don't we do it with the next unit that we buy this week? We'll just do it again.
Like every other unit?
Well, we just gave something away, and then we'll have them pick something from the next unit. If we get a unit this week, we'll have you pick something else. Just listen to the instructions in the video.
Yes.
Do you have another success story, George?
Yes. The next success story
Good pronunciation. You've been working on that.
is from Dan Darby. He says, "Hey guys, love the channel. You guys are great. You inspired me to find my own adventure, so I bid on a unit online. I paid $250 with fees, and renting a truck came to a total of $350. The unit has paid out over $1,300. He kept 3 guns. He hasn't told us what type of guns. He kept 3 guns and about $800 worth of tools. Needless to say, I am hooked now. It can be addicting, especially when your first unit is a huge score.
He spent $350. He's already made over $1,300.
That's
Kept 3 guns, $800 worth of tools.
That's
Dan
amazing.
Darby.
Dan Darby.
Amazing.
Fist pump.
Good job, Dan.
That's a great story. If you guys have success stories, keep them coming. We love reading them. We love hearing about them.
The one more thing we need to hear about before we go tonight. We got training. Can you tell them and remind them again about our training?
Yes. If you're interested in joining Jeremy and I on how to sell on eBay, send us your request for the eBay one-on-one training to whatthehales@yahoo.com. Once you send in your interest, then we'll send you an email in return with the next steps. So seats are limited. We do have a few seats left, so don't miss out.
What do you say we exit with a song tonight? What do you think?
Let's do it.
Should we do the one we did last week, or should we try that other one?
You can try a different one.
Okay, let's see if I can figure it out. May there always be sunshine. May there always be blue skies. May there help me, George. May there always be
You know I don't know all the lyrics to any song.
YouTube. May there always be George and Jeremy. Got it now?
No.
You don't have it now?
No.
Okay, it goes like this. May there always be sunshine. May there always be blue skies. May there always be YouTube. May there always be George and Jeremy.
Everyone, turn on your cell phones, light your lighters, and swing back and forth.
May there always be sunshine. May there always be blue skies. May there always be YouTube. May there always be George and Jeremy.
Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you had fun hanging out. We'll see you on the next live chat and videos in between. Say goodbye.
Goodbye.